To remove the ice storage bin, lift up and pull out. This has a standard cubed crushed solenoid auger blade assembly as seen on many brands. The ice maker is easier to remove if the right side storage bin and auger assembly are removed first. Release the auger motor connector and slide the assembly out. To remove the ice maker, there are 2 screws that should be loosened. These are the same as on modular ice makers. Note, it might be easier to completely remove the rear screw. Lift up the ice maker, disconnect the wiring, and remove. The ice maker comes as an assembly. It has an indicator light on the side and an on-off switch. If the ice maker does not operate properly, the LED will blink continuously. To access the freezer evaporator, defrost heater, defrost sensor, defrost bimetal, compartment sensor, and freezer fan motor, a number of steps must be completed. First, with the ice maker removed, remove the 4 screws on the front of the top cover. Pull the cover forward and swing the right side down and remove. The freezer compartment sensor is located on the back of this cover. Although there are terminal connectors available with the top cover off, troubleshooting measurements can be taken at the terminal block in the upper compartment. Note, wiring color at these terminals may not match up with the colors seen at the terminal block. The evaporator cover is the next item that needs to be removed. Remove the ice maker support frame on the top left side. Next, remove the 2 top right-hand shelf supports. Once the supports are removed, unplug the connectors that go into the ceiling and the auger and ice maker wiring connectors that snap into the cover. Swing the right side while holding in on the left to remove the cover. Remove the styrofoam air duct by working the duct up and tilting forward. Note, be careful not to crack or break the duct. This duct insulates and directs the air to the air outlets. If cracked, function. The Fresh Island allows the customer to control the temperatures in a refrigerator drawer. To access the board and dampers, remove the 3 drawers. Remove the panel behind the middle drawer. 2 screws on each side of the fresh island cover must be removed. With the wiring disconnected, slide the top out. Note, the door must be fully open to avoid damaging the gasket when pulling out the cover for the island. The sensor and board for the drawer are located on the cover for the drawer. The water reservoir is located behind the fresh island. To access, remove the water reservoir cover, 2 screws at the top and 2 at the bottom, and the fresh island ductwork. Note, there are 2 different size screws holding the ductwork. Be sure to use the longer screw in the upper right corner when reinstalling. The duct for the fresh island needs to be removed at the same time the reservoir cover is removed. Here is the tank heater. This is a 120-volt heater. The cover and heater can be ordered as an assembly. With the reservoir cover and duct removed, this provides access to the water reservoir, fresh island blower motor, and damper door assembly with heater. The motor and damper use 12-volt DC. The fan motor is pulling air from the freezer and blowing it into the fresh island. The damper assembly is controlling the airflow. Notice this damper has a heater and stepper motor. If the refrigerator is turned on and running without the fresh island board reconnected, the main display and push-button controls will not function. To access the refrigerator evaporator, the front air grill must be removed first. Squeeze in on the back of the grill. Here are the tabs in the front and back. Remove the 5 screws on the top cover. The cover will come off. Disconnect the wiring to the lamp and sensor. Here is the refrigerator compartment sensor. Remove the 2 screws in the lower duct connector. Remove the defrost drain. Next, the refrigerant tubing cover must be removed. Note all sealing and insulation must be properly replaced and not damaged to avoid possible freezing in the refrigerator. Next, remove the 2 evaporator cover screws and work the evaporator down, trying not to kink the tubing. Warning: be very careful in working the evaporator down and performing any repairs. Unnecessary bending or kinking of the tubing may cause tubing stress and lead to sealed system leaks. Position a shelf to help support the assembly. Remove the tape and styrofoam. Save the tape for reinstallation if new tape is not available. New packing tape will be much better. Carefully remove the tape, wires, and styrofoam cover. The refrigerator evaporator blower assembly is accessible now. There are 4 screws keeping the blower motor in place and a wiring tie on the connector. Note, these screws are silver colored and shorter than the other screws. 2 screws hold the evaporator assembly to the styrofoam housing. Once removed, the defrost safety bimetal and defrost sensor can be accessed. The defrost heater for this evaporator is a conductive type heater seen on older model Kenmore refrigerators. The heater can be replaced, or the evaporator assembly with the heater can be replaced. When working with the evaporator tubing, take special care not to bend or kink the tubing. This will lead to sealed system leaks. Note, if the refrigerator is turned on and running without any of the sensors reconnected, the main display will flash a fault code and the push-button controls will not function.